What you experience and what you confirm dropped it in the statement. In short, what makes any of the facts contained here different compared to the lives of many other reports with exactly the same
the members of parliament from different political parties, the traditional leaders, the religious leaders. It's helpful to always bring a junior along to the case. Thank you. The students and the general members of the EFF and members of the public who are present in court. Perhaps that is where we should start in the re-examination, because your report references the impact of the accused, the positive impact to the general South African public, and the consequences of removing him from playing that positive role. You reference that in various parts of your report. Can you just expand on that? Because sometimes it gets missed in these accusations of Mr. Malema being noisy.
With two different firearms, and with the one firearm, approximately 14 to 15 shots were fired with a handgun, and then with the firearm, the other one, the rifle, 7 shots were fired. Were you aware of that?
I saw the video where the celebratory shots were fired, Your Worship. There was no other charges relating to a firearm relating to this matter. So I focused on the charges in front of the court in this matter. If there was anything else, to my knowledge, there was no charge relating to that.
The evidence, both videos went in. The evidence showed that he fired with two firearms.
And it's perhaps, Your Worship, not for me to ask questions, but I can also not recall that there were ballistic evidence linking the other firearm to the accused.
Regardless, you saw the video, more than one shot than there was. Is that not so?
That is correct.
Your report, did it only focus on the one shot that was fired, or did you look at the totality of the shots that were actually fired on the day in question?
I considered that shots were fired for celebratory purposes and that it could have harmed people around the environment.
So I'm informing you now, it's approximately 22 shots that were fired. Would your report still have been the same, regardless of the number of shots that were fired?
It would still be the same, considering the other factors, that there was no evidence further that that there were any harm done to property or people, or any complaints from people around. If they were, it would have been different.
That you noticed on the video that just prior to the accused, when he started the firing with a rifle, in fact, when he started firing with a handgun, there were 7 people standing there in the direction that he was firing to, and they were running away, or despite him disputing that.
Your Worship, the video wasn't very clear. I haven't noticed that.
If you were aware of that, would you have considered it and put it in your report?
That some people were scared. If there were evidence with that regard, I would have considered it, yes.
Yes. But you did not notice that. In other words, you did not consider it.
And there were not evidence in that regard that for what reason the people ran. I don't know what the reason might have been. It could be that they were scared. It could be for other purposes. I don't know.
It was very obvious. We didn't see it. It was very
Yeah.
obvious why they were running.
It would be a consideration, but part of that again would be coming back to the considerations in terms of that's the potential harm, that people could have been harmed, that people were scared. But the actual harm in the end, Your Worship, is that there were no injuries and facts which would have been a much more serious consideration and contribution if there were actual harm.
According to the accused's own evidence, there were about 20,000 attendees. Some of them were just standing right there in front of him during this incident, prior to him firing those shots. You saw that in the video.
It was a big event to my knowledge, yes, Your Worship.
Have you factored that into your report, the fact that there were actual people right there and the 7 in the direction that he was firing shots at?
Unless I've misunderstood, my understanding was that the shots were fired in the air and not at people directly.
I'm no ballistic expert, but the expert did testify what goes up must come down.
Correct, Your Worship, but there is a difference between firing in the air and it comes down. The potential is still there, the risk is still there that it can cause damage, it can cost life. But the risk is different when I fire and it is going in the direction of someone.
I just said to you, there were 7 people standing towards the direction, despite him firing in the air or not, towards the direction that he fired the shots in.
Your Worship, my understanding of the direction is, do I fire it directed at the people, or is it even I'm directing at Your Worship, but it's still fired into the air? And if there were ballistic experts indicating the come down would have been on those people, it might have been different, but the fact of the matter remains, whether it is the people in the stadium or whether it's the people of the neighborhood, when it comes down, people could have been hurt and people could have been killed, and that remains serious.
Are you aware that the Sisa Picasso Stadium where the incident occurred is in a very condensed, right in the middle of a community, very condensed community, right outside, there's houses right around that place?
I am sure there were people around because the charge sheets were also very clear that it's not only the people in the stadium, but also the people working there, the supporters, the people from Beer House, and the people from the Mdantsane.
No, Shoot to kill, kill on me. Shoot to kill, Namasa. Brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. I repeat, kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Of Africa, fighters, the law of this country will prevail against racism. No racism can prevail over the law. Any ruling that is unjust, any ruling that doesn't follow the law and the Constitution doesn't deserve our respect. We must never respect anyone who uses the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa to perpetuate racism, to perpetuate white supremacy. Let's make sure that as fighters, we educate our people. What the Boers did, they took out the brains and left us with empty heads. We must refill the heads of our people with ideas that are going to liberate them. The day we said we want the land of our people to be returned to our people without compensation, that is the day we committed crime in South Africa. That's why they hate us. They want to continue to be in charge of the stolen land. This is our land. No sheep came with the land. When they came from Europe, they found this land here. And we are right when we say this is our land. We'll expropriate it without compensation, whether they like it or not. We will nationalize the mines. We will establish the state bank. We'll make sure that the people of South Africa participate in the economy of South Africa without any hesitation. Comrades, let us make sure we bring the economy of South Africa to look like Parliament of South Africa. By how Parliament looks, you can see who are the majority. Majority are black Africans, and minority are whites. That's how the economy should be. The majority of the economy must be owned by majority of South Africans, and majority of South Africans are black Africans. So we will fight this fight until we win. If we don't win this fight, we would have laid a firm foundation for future generation to come and take the spear and continue the battle for economic freedom in our lifetime. No child is going to follow cowards. When you're scared of prison, no child will join the struggle for economic freedom, because they know that those who came before them, they were scared and did not do anything. Comrades, let us be in the forefront of restoring the dignity of black people, so that when we die, our children come to our graves to come and salute, but go to the grave of Ramaphosa and pee on that grave and say, here lies a sellout which did not return the land of our people into the hands of the rightful owners. You must die a revolutionary. And being a revolutionary doesn't mean giving people RDP houses. There is nothing revolutionary about RDP. There is nothing revolutionary about patching a pothole. There is nothing revolutionary about creating jobs. Revolution means a complete overhaul of the system and introduce a new system that is going to benefit the majority of our people. Who are this majority? The working class of South Africa must be the one that benefits when the revolution wins at the end of the day. The revolution means we must replace white supremacy with the dignity of black people restored in South Africa, Africa, and the world. Donald Trump, whether he likes it or not, his term is coming to an end and is going to go to jail unless he does the quickest thing and drink poison. The world will never forgive Donald Trump for what he did by destabilizing the whole world and undermining the international law. His day is coming, and we must not be worried about a man who speaks about politics, yet he knows nothing about politics. How do you say, I don't follow? Who left? Who right? You must say, who left? Kita? Killer man. Kiri wata. Damarumo. Rumo. Asicha. Where were you when I'm sitting? Where were you when I'm clem? So fast kichi. Emoye. So fast kichi. Etati. Kichi. Kichima. Kichi. Kichima. Bonge lavant. Hibagiti. Bonge lavant. Hibagiti. Silta tile. Hilagiti. Silta tile. Hilagiti. Zibram Kondo Alliance. Zibram Kondo Alliance. Shoot to kill. Killer man. Shoot to kill. Yamaza. Brr pa. Pa. Brr pa. Pa. Kill the poor. The farmer. Kill the poor. The farmer. I repeat, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer, the